Hello, and welcome to our weekly wrap up. It's been such a great week. I had launched my daily briefings on socials, on YouTube this week. It's been fantastic. The response has been really great. And yeah, I'm looking forward to also doing this segment for you guys on a Saturday, which just gives a few stories that I didn't touch on and I thought would be of interest to you guys, especially moving into the next week. Sometimes they will be relevant for the next week. Sometimes it will be just relevant for the year ahead. But it's a very relaxed style. I have my notes by my side, so I'm not always going to be looking at the screen. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first story I have for you today is about the UK car finance scandal. So it's kind of like another PPI moment, which is a whole thing of its own. And then the second story I have is about the United Nations vote, which was led by Ghana, which was to push the label that transatlantic slave trade was the gravest crime against humanity. We'll go into the first one about British car financial scandal, and then we will touch on the other. So it looks like Britain is heading for a giant compensation payout. The Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA, is about to reveal a multi-billion pound payout. They're calling it a redress scheme, and it's for people who had been missold car insurance between 2007 and 2024. So this announcement is going to land on March the 30th, so that's on Monday after markets close. So here's the rundown. Between 2007 and 2024, many car loans came with hidden compensation deals between the lenders and the dealerships. So those commissions rewarded brokers for charging high interest rates, meaning lots of drivers paid more than they should have. The FCA says that millions of drivers may be due compensation. How big that compensation will be will vary. There's estimates that it could cost the industry about £11 billion, with individual payouts going up to possibly £950. So if this commission was paid but not explained properly, there's a chance that you may be able to get a payout. And you don't need a lawyer or claim firms. The FCA has set up template letters so people can claim directly from their lenders for free. And if you already know about this and you've already complained, you're likely to be first in the line when it comes to payouts once the scheme launches. And if you haven't complained, your lender could contact you within 6 months once the plan goes live. And if you are not reached out to by your lender, you will still have a year from when the scheme opens up to apply. There are 3 types of deals that can trigger compensation. There's discretionary commissions, high commissions, and also exclusive lender-broker partnerships. So this is where you only got one offer. And if those weren't disclosed to you at all, then lenders will have to assume unfairness unless they can prove otherwise. So obviously this is worrying a lot of major banks and finance companies. They're warning that this scheme could spark legal challenges and it will hit their profits hard, especially if lots of claims are flooding in. The first payouts are expected later this year. So yeah, we could be watching another payment protection insurance policy scandal unfold. Another story that really caught my eye was this week the UN General Assembly adopted a resolution from Ghana which declared the transatlantic slave trade to be the gravest crime against humanity and called for reparations. Now, it's not legally binding, but it carries a lot of political weight. So breaking down the vote, 123 countries backed it. 3 countries opposed it, including the United States and Israel, and 52 countries abstained, including the UK and the rest of the European Union. Ghana's diplomats say this is about accountability and repair, and the resolution encourages countries to apologise formally, return stolen artifacts, offer financial compensation, and put in place guarantees that this type of exploitation cannot ever happen again. For Ghana and the African Union, it's part of a bigger push for a unified African position on reparations. The UN Secretary General has said that the world needs far bolder actions to confront historic inequalities. And right now, only the Netherlands have officially apologised for its role in slavery. But the backlash has been quick. The US argued that this resolution could create a hierarchy among crimes against humanity. The EU said it supported acknowledging the atrocity, but had legal concerns mainly about applying international law retroactively. And critics in the Western world have said that governments shouldn't be held responsible for century-old wrongs. Ghana and its supporters have responded and said the effects of the wrongs are still here and are therefore measurable. Even without legal force, it puts the UN on record recognizing the transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime and opens the door to real discussion about reparations and recognition. And it's a symbolic win for Africa because it shows a serious call to act and not just remember. That's it for this weekend's wrap up. We had two different stories, but both have a similar theme about fairness, accountability, and how we fix the damage of the past. I hope you have a lovely weekend and see you on Monday for our daily briefings. Bye.